Coming up on this week's news, the Apprentice system for recruiting electricians is broken, says critics. The government orders a major recall of 3-pin 13-amp plugs supplied to the trade, and an electrician's tools are stolen days after she attended the anti-theft rally in London. Welcome to Electrical News Weekly, whether you're listening in the van, on-site or down at the wholesale counter. I'm Joe Robinson, and I've been through the best of the electrical industry news to save you the trouble. And if you think you've spotted the two words that I've been challenged to slip into this week's show, we're going to do things just a little bit differently this week. Our winner will exclusively be chosen from the correct guesses made on LinkedIn. So if you're watching or listening anywhere else, click the link in the show notes, leave your guesses there, and you could be in with a chance to win a prize. The electrical apprenticeship system is broken. That's increasingly the verdict of contracting industry organisations, company bosses and executives. This week, small and medium-sized firms took to the national press to complain that funds from the apprenticeship levy, a tax on businesses with a £3 million wage bill, wasn't reaching them. The Electrical Contractors Association echoed their concerns. Its Chief Operations Officer Andrew Eldred said the levy paid for training, but not for the recruitment and employment of apprentices. This was a challenge for small businesses. Last week, the ECA slammed the classroom route to becoming an electrician as a waste of money. Observers say the unusually strong language reveals increasing frustration with the system. Critics say that specifically, the link between colleges and contracting firms is ruptured. They claim that further education establishments are simply a conveyor belt for students, with most falling off the end. Students with level 2 and level 3 qualifications are often left to their own devices to find placements. In London, there are 8 youngsters in classrooms for every 1 learning on the tools, and in a recent eFix survey, we found one class of 50 students where just 3 youngsters went on to get apprenticeships. College insiders say the institutions are paid for each individual in the classroom, not how many make it to apprenticeships. The arrangement has created a culture of complacency. The key to changing it, they say, is to make the institutions incentivised to boost conversion rates. Across the wider building trade, the picture is bleak. Despite the skills shortage, there's been a 1.4% drop in new apprentices in 2024. That follows a 5% drop the previous year. Let us know your experience of the apprenticeship system in the comments below. In other news, a company boss has appeared in the dock following the electrocution of a father of 4. Christopher Old admitted failing to ensure the health, safety and welfare of his employees after 36-year-old Rodney Shirley was killed while on a cherry picker in 2021. Rodney worked for Old's tree surgery company and was on a project at the time. A joint investigation was carried out by police and the health and safety executive following the incident. At Belfast Crown Court last week, barrister Geraldine McCulloch KC told Judge Philip Gilpin that a more serious charge of manslaughter was being left on the books and was not being proceeded with. Judge Gilpin set the date for the plea and sentencing as Thursday the 3rd of April. An electrician who went on a rally to Parliament to protest about tool theft has had her tools stolen days after the event. Gina York from Eastwood in Nottinghamshire had more than £3,500 worth of power tools and test equipment taken from her van. The theft occurred the same week she joined a Trades United demonstration in London campaigning for more action over the problem. The thieves gained access to York's van by drilling a hole in the door and unlocking it from the inside. The electrician was forced to cancel various appointments and jobs as a result. Now, big-hearted colleagues in the trade have stepped in with a fundraising appeal which has brought in more than £4,000. But York is still upset over the incident. She believes the thieves often sell the used tools at car boot sales, and she says it needs to stop. If you want to support the Trades United campaign, I've popped a link to the Instagram feed in the show notes. A new housing estate in England will see residents sharing electricity. The 113 home site in Epping will have a centralised battery which property owners can draw off when they need it. The battery is charged up by all the solar panels on the roofs of the houses. Residents on the development, dubbed a microgrid community by the builder GS8, will have 0 energy bills for at least the first 5 years. That's the promise of energy supplier Octopus. It says the Epping estate will be the UK's biggest zero bills site so far. The company aims to deliver 100,000 zero bills homes by 2030. And if you're thinking, blimey, it all sounds like a bit of a rigmarole, Gordon and Gary visited a similar estate in Wales a few years back. The Park Erin project by POBL Homes features houses connected to 3-phase. Their video explores the first fix for solar, batteries, heat pumps and EV chargers. It's an interesting watch, and the link, as ever, is in the notes. And speaking of all things renewable and EVs in particular, are you ready to power the future of transportation? Why not join Wheeland Electric's free webinar Smart Charging Power Supply of E-Charging Stations on Thursday, February the 27th, 2025 at 10 o'clock AM Discover how the PODIS flat cable system simplifies the installation of EV charging infrastructure, offering flexibility and efficiency for both new projects and retrofits. Ideal for municipal authorities, energy suppliers, planners and installers, this session provides direct access to industry experts ready to answer your questions. Don't miss this opportunity to enhance your expertise in e-mobility solutions. There's a link in the show notes to register your spot, along with a link to the video that we produced on the PODIS system last year, so you can get a head start on the webinar content. Next, there's been a major recall this week of 3-pin 13-amp plugs supplied to the trade. The products sold between September 2023 and December 2024 are under the Trade Fittings Direct brand. The Office for Product Standards says the Chinese-made batch represents a serious risk of fire and electrocution. Due to a fault in the fuse, they overheat and the plastic melts. Sparks may then develop, leading to fire. Removing the plug from the socket may also pose a risk of electrocution. The products do not meet the plugs and sockets safety regulations of 1994. It's understood that the perilous plugs have already been fitted by multiple installers to single ovens, hobs and cooker hood extractors in a number of new build houses. Some installers known to have made a purchase have been contacted, but any electrician with concerns should contact Trade Fittings Direct. I've put their contact details in the show notes. The Office for Product Standards has also issued no fewer than 3 safety alerts this week over telescopic ladders. It follows our special report last week into the safety of the style. All 3 are Chinese made and were on sale on Amazon's online marketplace. All represent what the Office calls a serious risk of injury. The Office has now stopped imports of the units at the border and the listings have been removed by Amazon. I'll put a link to the 3 affected ladders in the show notes. Now, do you ever struggle with diagnosing nuisance RCD tripping? Well, meet the DCM 300 leak from ENW sponsors KPS. The Bluetooth TRMS leakage clamp meter designed for ultra-precise AC leakage detection. With true RMS accuracy, selectable high-frequency rejection, and a range from 6 mA all the way up to 60 amps AC current capability, it's the tool you need for both domestic and industrial jobs. A built-in torchlight keeps you working in low light conditions, while the KPS Link app lets you monitor and export data remotely. Plus, enjoy a 3-year warranty and lifetime support. Now, welcome to our Electrical News Weekly feature where we focus on a specific product area. This week we're making a racket about protection. Circuit protection, that is. Innovations due to hit the market include Niglon's second generation of protection kit. This includes the Protego 125 3-phase range, which we're told will be on wholesalers' shelves in April. The 125 amp boards will feature a wide selection of B, C and D curve devices, including a triple pole RCBO range. You can also integrate surge protection directly in the board. Other features include a reversible door, a half DIN rail for populating the board quickly, fully shrouded terminals and bus bar, and rolled edges to the gland plate entry so that the cables are protected. A Type 3 surge arrestor from CPN QDIS is your go-to solution for safeguarding fire alarm panels, CCTV cameras, lighting and more, working alongside Type 2 devices for comprehensive surge protection. Nicknamed the Black Box, its compact size fits even the tightest spaces, and with a 10-metre protection radius, your equipment stays safe. Plus, a really innovative feature, it has an audible alarm that lets you know when it's time for a replacement. IP50 rated and built to withstand surges up to 1.5 kA, it's reliable, durable and compact. Siemens has unveiled a single model AFDD RCBO rated at 10 kA short-circuiting capacity. The units have a switch neutral and are compatible with all of the brand's Alpha BS2 MCB disboards. Luden has launched single and 3-phase surge protection devices for its 2025 consumer unit range. For both single and 3 phases, there's a Type 2 device and a Type 1 and 2 device. Also out recently from Luden are cover lock kits and surface mount mattresses. Click Skolmore has introduced 3-phase distribution boards for its popular Illusion range. There are 7 boards available from 4 to 24 ways. The 4 and 6-way boards are designed specifically to only work with a 125 amp incomer, whereas 8 to 24-way boards offer a choice of RCCBs and either a 125 amp or 250 amp isolator. The doors are fitted with spring clips, making them easy to remove. Surge protection devices for the 4 and 6-way boards can be installed on additional phase connectors. On 8-way and larger boards, it can be integrated into the main switch or bus bar. That's our Electrical News Weekly roundup of products that we think deserve some attention. Next week, all things EV. And off the back of circuit protection, we've got our results from last week's question of the week. Now, for reasons I cannot begin to comprehend, the scheduled post on YouTube didn't go out, but we've still got the results from LinkedIn. The question came from our free training package on torque settings we made in association with WeHa and asked, the industry convention for how often to calibrate a torque setting device is what? The correct answer is every 5,000 clicks. And while the results were low in terms of getting the right answer, we always love it when you err on the side of safety. So the result of 72% getting it wrong at least suggests everyone's getting their screwdrivers calibrated too often. There is a little more to the 5,000 clicks figure than covered in this simple question, so check out that free training package we made with Weha for more information. And finally, an electrician who was ejected from a pub got his own back by shutting off power to the premises. Matthew Phelps, an employee of Nashville Electric Service, used his technical knowledge to close down Shooter's Bar in Tennessee. The bar owners say the power outage damaged speakers worth £3,000 as well as an arcade game. Phelps has now been charged with vandalism and released on bail of £20,000. That's some hangover. Before we go, a shout out to Hochiki, which this week celebrates the first year of its excellent training academy. The Kent-based facility blends online modules, webinars and in-person training, all about fire protection and emergency lighting. Congratulations, guys. Now, our usual reminder that we're in the market for your stories, your projects and your recommendations, as we'd like to share them with the wider eFix community. Over the next few weeks, we'll be featuring all things EV, wiring accessories and electrical innovations. So send us pictures of your installs or let us know if you've come across any new kit that's making your job easier or any products that you think deserve a shout out. And just before we get to your favourite bit of the show where I reveal last week's challenge words and winners, we want to thank our premium partners. We couldn't make the news without you. First up, they're the people who've created the Swiss Army knife of solar inverters along with all-weather batteries, very much the Boy Scouts of the solar industry. It's Sunsync. And speaking of solar, with manufacturing powered by a massive 250 megawatt solar PV array, they're literally the greenest test instrument maker in Europe, both physically and ethically. It's KPS. Now, are you a bit of a control freak? Motor control, that is. If so, with huge stocks and excellent service, check out Crompton Controls. As they said to me in a recent conversation, if we don't have it, then we can build it. With their new award-winning Lumo consumer unit and offering complete product support from their highly trained team, it's CPN QDIS. Don't forget to use the code EFIX30 to claim your 30% discount on top quality light fittings from Philips and EcoLink. Download LumExpert app today and make your life easier and less expensive. It's the light of our lives, Signify. And the best thing to come out of Yorkshire since stainless steel, the home of EV Ultra and other groundbreaking and quality products, it's Doncaster Cables. Click the links in the show notes to find out more about these great brands. Big thanks to you all. We really appreciate your ongoing support for the news. If you think you know the words that I've smuggled into this week's show, click the link in the show notes to go to the LinkedIn version of this video and leave your guesses in the comments there. We'll take all the correct guesses from that platform and select one at random to be the winner of an eFix goodie bag prize. Answers submitted after about lunchtime on the Thursday after release will not be entered into the draw. Now let's reveal the winner of last week's challenge word competition. Last week's words were tariff and cringe, and the person to be selected from our electronic hat this week was Harry Scrimshaw 6654. So well done to you. Make sure you click the get involved link in the show notes to claim your prize. Thanks for listening to this episode of Electrical News Weekly. Make sure you subscribe to receive the next update. Thanks for listening, and until next time, have a great week. Stay safe out there, and remember, there's no such thing as a torque calibrated arm.